Here we have a 1945 Farmall H that overhauled over at Wren Lake College, where I'm going to school to be an ag mechanic. I figured I'd overhaul something I'm familiar with, and all these old Farmalls, and it just seemed like a good thing to cut your teeth on. I actually been redoing this tractor for an old timer who was 86 and a World War II vet. He wanted me just to paint it, and I talked him into overhauling it, and I'm glad I did, because it was pretty rough. Well, still is pretty rough, but running wise it was pretty rough. The day we went to go pick it up, we tried starting it, and we put a battery in it and cranked on it, and the sediment bowl and the starter wire was bare, so it was kind of getting hot up against that sediment bowl. Luckily, I thought maybe I should just try turning it over and don't put any gas in it. So if I probably would have put gas in it, we might have had a fire. Other than that, we were in pretty good shape. We tried starting it there, couldn't get it started, so we pulled it outside the barn and kept pulling it, trying to start it. It wouldn't start, and I finally just hit the push button and it fired up, running on only 3 cylinders though. So that wasn't too great. It wouldn't pull itself up the trailer, because I believe, well, when I hit the throttle, nothing happened. Later I found out that the the carb just had the float stuck, and it probably pulled itself up the trailer. But next time we just pushed it up the trailer with about maybe 80 horse front wheel assist New Holland, and put that lovely little dent right there in the grill, which I don't think we're going to be saving this grill. Funny thing is, the grill insert's still in there. Most H's and M's have that missing. This one just has some bars missing. Let's see. Well, we get it to school and still running on 3 cylinders. And we get in the shop and we start pulling all the sheet metal off it and everything, gas tank, and I pull off the valve cover, or the rocker arms are, and well, there was a bent intake valve on the number 2 cylinder. So that explained the 3 cylinder problem there. And then we went to pull the head off and got the head off and found out there was a crack in it, and pretty much the valve seats are about shot. So we got a different head over at JP Salvage in Fredericktown, Missouri, and it had been gone through and everything, and it was a lot cheaper to do that than have the old head fixed. If any of you guys need international parts, that would be the guy to go to. Put a new water pump on it. That was not a pretty thing to buy. That was about $250 just for the new water pump. I've heard of people rebuilding them, but the one that was on there was pretty rough. Had to get a new water jacket cover. As you can tell, that's pretty shiny on this thing. The one that was on it was pretty rusted. We actually had to drill and tap some of the water jacket bolts because they broke off when I took it off. Or we actually got lucky on a few of them. Could heat them, get a pair of vice grips on them, and they'd twist out. See those new gold bolts there? Yeah, this guy had the old set of frame rails welded to the front bolster. So front bolster and frame rails on this tractor are from a different tractor. I believe it was a 42H, which pretty much all of them are the same except for the 39 and 40s, and the 2 motor mount holes are closer together, and there's a valley on the rear end where the seat is, like a little channel for the seat to sit in. So we had to get a different front half. Let's see, I'm trying to think of something else on this side of the tractor. Everything inside is brand new cam bearings. Had to get the crank turned to 20 under. What are you doing, cat? As you can tell, it has some lovely mud tires. It's not front wheel assist though. What else do we have going on here? It was a dual fuel tractor. It don't have the dual fuel manifold on it. It just has a pipe threaded into it, and from my understanding, dual fuel manifold it's shaped like that there, but it like has a flat piece that bolts up on top of the manifold, and the pipe's just part of the flat piece. And that's what my M has on it actually. My M's also dual fuel. Here's a little tank with a new cap on it. It was missing the cap. Don't know if you could tell. Well, this hood's kind of in the way, which it's not much of a hood. The hood actually wore a hole in the filler neck on that. It still had the old sediment bowl on it, where the sediment, or where the line coming from the tank, the little tank, to the sediment bowl was still on it, which was pretty impressive. I still had the fuel bowl. It was shot, so I just put a new fuel bowl on this, and I still have the line going to that, which I thought was neat. It had a mag on it actually that had a coil sitting onto it, so they were using the mag for a set of points, which I ended up just getting a distributor for it too. What else here? Belt pulley is off it right now. I wanted to clean underneath there, and as you could tell, we had a bad gas leak when we were messing with the old sediment bowl. But you got to get a gasket for that before I put the sediment bowl on it, or sediment bowl. What am I talking about? Belt pulley. I need to get a brake spring in there, as you could tell. I got them set right now, but when they're unset, they still kind of stick forward. The other side, I need to get a clutch spring, and I've got to get a seat. As you can tell, well, I guess it still is a piece of 3/4 inch plywood. It's almost stretched out to an inch now, but from all the water it's absorbed over years and started rotting. I am gonna have to get a new throttle. As you can tell, somebody thought they could fix this one, and they brazed a little spot on it to keep it from moving, which it didn't help, and they put this on there to keep it locked in place, which it still don't really work. It's really strange though, because it idles down pretty low and still runs. It doesn't kill itself. Back down here to the engine. It doesn't have a charging system on it yet. I figured if I'm going to repaint it, I'll paint it and then put the alternator on it, because that's what this is going to get. I really don't like it when you paint over the wires, even though originally that's what they were. The belts are painted. Everything is painted pretty much except for the ignition, like the plug wires, coil, and cap. That was all been put on after. Has a new thermostat in it. There's the shutter rod to close your shutters and get your tractor warmer. It actually had the rod going all the way to that, but I took that off because it kept getting in the way when we were pulling the engine out. As you can tell, the petcocks are not in the best shape. Looks like they've been rigged a little bit, and looks like it leaked quite a bit, and so I brazed on it. Let's see. I think that's about it. Tell you about. Oh, it is a war model, well, or later war model. It has the steel gear shift knob, and it's kind of funny because on the earlier ones, like 42 to about 43, they were all cut off steels because they wouldn't want to get rid of the, or give rubber for the steel effort or war effort. They're rationing it. Well, what they ended up doing was wasting steel, because a lot of the farmers just cut the steel wheel off where the spokes were left and welded a rim back to it and just put a tire on it that way. And this one has rubber tires on it, as you can tell. But they started the later models, they let them have rubber tires, but they wouldn't let them have the little bit of steel or rubber on the gear shift knob, so they put a piece of steel on it. Well, I guess enough of me talking. You probably want to hear this thing run.